wonder if somebody could make like a short film. Like I'm sure you can make like a short AI film of the Weasley twins.
Wow. Harry polishes his wand in public.
So, Andrew, I know you and I are both busy. We should just get right to the episode. But the Goblet of Fire. I kind of think Kel has been listening to our podcast because she brought up something about the Goblet of Fire that I was actually going to bring up this episode. And the issue I have, not really issues, but so Harry Potter put his name in the Goblet of Fire, right? Or he didn't. Somebody put his name in the Goblet of Fire, right?
Name in, yeah.
The job for the Goblet is to pick 3 schools.
Sure.
Or it's to pick a champion from each school that gets put in.
Yeah.
So what other school could Harry have, or whoever put his name in, he had to be put in under a 4th school, right? So the only other school we know of is Ilvermorny. And we don't even hear about that until Fantastic Beasts.
Sure.
So the books kind of make it sound like he just, or somebody just put in his name. Because,
yeah.
I guess when everybody's putting their name in, they're also putting the name of the school.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't say that. I mean, because obviously the goblet is super magical.
Well, yes, but I also think the goblet is there for one job and one job only.
One
to
job
pick
and
the
one job
champions
only.
out of it. The rules have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It's literally and
Well, I think the rules.
Judge.
I think the rule that it abides by is
Pick the champion from the school.
pick the champion, one champion per school.
Yeah.
So
Dumbledore put the age line around it, right?
sure.
I know this isn't what happened, but it could have happened because we brought it up, I think, a couple chapters ago. Harry heard a voice awaken in the back of his head, and then you had said Harry had never talked like this before. This is not how Harry talks. And we kind of
Sure.
deduced, that's when the Horcrux inside of Harry woke up.
Well, I don't know if that's when it woke up, but it was definitely alert when Harry's... Or not alert, but it was definitely present when all of Harry's anything mentally just is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Well,
He's at utter peace, utter relaxation. It's like, hey, do this thing. Sure. And then it's like, well, the other presence, the other consciousness was like, no. We don't take orders. We don't do that.
Saying that and knowing who we think the other consciousness is, Harry could have walked over the age line. I think Harry could have fooled the age line. He could have just walked over it and it would have sensed that other presence within him.
And that's possible. I feel like because Harry's body is the vessel, Harry's body is less than 17 years old, that Dumbledore's age line would not have allowed it. But yeah, we don't go over the specifics. We don't know the spell. We just know that he put an age line, and we've had, at least one teacher be like, yeah, well, mid-December, right? No, not mid-December either. And now in Moody's class, okay, we've got this consciousness there. That's happening. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because I know it's just the Goblet of Fire, and we may be putting too much stock into it. But
and you have to take into account. So if Barty Crouch Jr., Moody, if Moody's, somebody used a Confundus charm, a really powerful Confundus charm on the Goblet of Fire. Okay, well, that tells us that the goblet's parameters can be manipulated.
yeah.
So if we take that, then Dumbledore could have easily done the same thing. We've changed the rules this year. They have to be at least 17 year older or older. Here is the Goblet of Fire. I'm going to put a Confundus charm on it. or something
Yeah.
to make it so now we've updated the parameters of the impartial judge.
Yeah, that's true. My third thing is a big plot hole, I guess, within the whole entire series. When Dumbledore asked Harry, "Hey, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" No. Did you have one of the other older students do it for you? No. Dumbledore's like, okay. Dumbledore knows Legilimens, so shouldn't everybody believe what he's saying is true?
Yes, but I think so. If we go into the sixth book where Dumbledore takes Harry on sidelong apparition to go get Professor Slughorn, Harry asks him a question because they go outside of his house, the outside of the yard.
No,
outside
it wasn't
of the
really
property.
his house. But
Well, it wasn't his house, but
staying.
he knew he was there. But outside of the property, and they walking up and all this stuff, and Harry's like, "Why didn't we just apparate into the home?" And Dumbledore's like, "That would have been impolite. That would have, almost like it is more respectful, more." So I don't think Dumbledore, especially on a student, I don't think Dumbledore would just be using Legilimens at will. I think
And if he did, it would put a plot hole in the whole entire series because anybody could just use Legilimens and.
Well, yeah, he could do that on anybody. He could
Yeah.
use Legilimens on Quirrell. He could use Legilimens on Lockhart. He could use Legilimens on Moody. And Moody, James. They were anime. He could have used Legilimens on now Moody, right? So it's all very. I don't think Dumbledore, because of his past, which obviously we get huge into in a little bit of 6 and a lot of book 7, he knows himself. He is the Aragorn of this. He knows what power does to him, so he doesn't seek it. Yeah. And he restrains himself. So, Harry, did you do it? No. Did you do it this way? No. And he could have just dropped it there because he'd be like, even if somebody else did put your name in, I have made sure that the goblet isn't going to pull out a 14-year-old champion anyway.
Yeah.
So because there's a lot of non-specifics around that, many theories could apply and would be fun to listen to.
So my last question, right before we get into the recap, what do you think of the Legilimens in general being a part of the Harry Potter world?
I think it's really cool. I think it's on the fringe. I think it's the gray area.
Yeah.
Of being, again, we've talked about, we know that we can alter memories, and we know that we can protect, we can play defense against legilimency, occlumency so I think it's cool. It reminds me a lot of Inception. Did you ever watch the movie Inception?
I might have.
You need to run full speed into a wall one day and just put me out of my misery.
Maybe I have. Maybe that's why I don't remember.
Maybe that's why. Maybe I did do that, and that's why I can't remember. But no, I don't think it's a plot hole at all. I think it's a cool thing, almost like, being an animagus, almost like, being a Legilimens, even if you look at, a Patronus, there are full-grown wizards that can't do it. So we know that there are a lot of facets of magic.
Yeah, not
every wizard, just like humans, right? Yeah, just like humans. You could ask 100 adults right now to write down all 50 states, and some could only give you 30, right? They've heard them all, but it's not like they're... I don't necessarily need to know that to be able to function in a healthy capacity with my family, my job, whatever the case is. Yeah. So, a lot of people are like, I don't need to learn Legilimency. I don't ever see a time where I'm going to need to invade somebody's thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've put the Goblet of Fire talk to rest. We do have some guests coming on here eventually that might add to it. I don't know. We might pick their brains for it.
I love it.
Welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles to Squibs Corner. I am Jeremiah.
And I'm Andrew, and tonight we are jumping into Chapter 18, The Weighing of the Wands, of Book 4, Harry Potter, and obviously the Goblet of Fire. Before we go forward, let's jump back just a little bit. So, Chapter 17, The Four Champions. Obviously, we've got Victor Crumb representing Durmstrang. We've got Cedric Diggory representing Hogwarts. We've got Fleur Delacour representing Beauxbaton. And now, boom, we've got Harry, who is going to be the fourth champion, also representing Hogwarts. So the four champions, they've met in the room off of the entrance hall, or the Great Hall, and Karkaroff, Madame Maxine, Snape, they're livid. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Snape is just there for some reason.
Snape is just there, Snape is just there. Dumbledore's famous line, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? No. Did you have an older student put your name in the Goblet of Fire? No. Okay, let's move on. So there are no alternatives. So at the end of this chapter, or midway, the end of that scene there, it is resolved that Harry, Cedric, Victor, and Fleur are all going to be competing in the Triwizard Cup tournament.
A magical binding contract. He doesn't have a choice.
It's a binding. You can't back out of that binding contract. It's magically binding.
Yeah.
That binding contract.
Binding.
So it's very binding. So
extremely binding.
So like it's the most binding thing ever.
You wouldn't believe how binding it is.
Magically binding. What happens? You just need to know that it's binding, okay, buddy? What happens if Harry doesn't do it? His credit score goes down to 300. That's how binding it is. So anyway, okay, so even Cedric, at the very end, they're dispersing. Cedric, Harry, how'd you put your name in there? Like, I did. And he's like, all right, then, cool, whatever. He goes up to Gryffindor Tower. Everybody wants to congratulate him, talk to him, give him butterbeer, give him treats. Everybody. He really just wants to see Ron and Hermione. He goes up finally to his dormitory, and Ron is laying there. And Ron also doesn't believe Harry. Mm-hmm. And that is just kind of the tipping point for Harry to now he loses his cool. I didn't put it in there. If you want to act stupid, act stupid. So now the chapter ends with Harry and Ron. They're kind of on the outs now. So that wraps up the four champions. Now we jump into the weighing of the wands. Before we do that, let's just give a huge shout out to everybody that's watching, or listening, and sharing and commenting and liking. Like, so much appreciation from us. We have such a good time doing this, and we're so grateful for the people that tune in to the full episodes, to the shorts, to the Spotify, to the Apple podcast. It's just so cool that we've got people following along on this journey, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and if you wait to the end, we got some more outpost for you all. We love it. Nice. See, if you leave comments, we shout you out on the podcast. It's great.
Yes.
It's great.
And now what are we going to do? Let's jump into the 7-word summary. Let's do it.
So, I think I kind of went with the obvious here. Or maybe it's just obvious to me. So, wait. The wands aren't being weighed?
Yes.
So every time I hear the title of this chapter, I'm like, oh, cool, they're going to weigh the wands.
Yeah.
It does not happen.
I assumed you were going to do something with the weighing, but I could, that scene is so good. So mine's 7. Wow. Harry polishes his wand in public.
And he shoots sparks out of it. Right in front of the girls.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not good. So, the 7 chapter notables, I have to be honest, I don't think there's 7 chapter notables in this chapter.
For it being a long chapter,
there wasn't a lot.
It's not again. It's the build up, right? We're building up to the Triwizard tournament.
There's a lot, but nothing really noteworthy. I mean, a little bit towards the end, but.
And one of the things, especially in this chapter, that reminds me so much about J.K. Rowling and the writing is she's so good at writing secondary and tertiary antagonists, right? So we already have Snape. Voldemort is obviously our main antagonist. And then you've got the Snapes. Now we've got the Karkaroffs, right? Now we're introduced to another character whom we've heard before, but we haven't met her. So, like, J.K. is just so good at, like, Rita Skeeter is not like Voldemort, but we don't like him. She's not like Karkaroff, but we don't like him. You know, so she's just really good at throwing us different people and personalities that are like...
And they're all relatable, too. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I kind of had to make some up. I mean, they make sense, but are they noteworthy? I don't know. You could decide that for yourself. So, 7 chapter notables. Number 1, Ron is officially a git. Number 2, Hermione is Harry's first believer. Number 3, Hagrid's Harry's second believer. But why? Number 4, the not-so-weighing of the wands. Number 5, Rita Skeeter in the flesh. Number 6, did Rita Skeeter invent AI? Number 7, guess who's back? Back again. It's not Shady. It's Mr. Ollivander! It's so great. It's so great to see him every time.
Pop quiz.
Oh, what? Because I don't have any pop quizzes in here.
What is Ollivander's first name?
Garrick.
I love you so much. You totally redeemed yourself.
Yeah. The only pop quiz, unless you make up more. So as always, we'll start out with the first paragraph. When Harry woke up on Sunday morning, it took him a moment to remember why he felt so miserable and worried. Then the memory of the previous night rolled over him. He sat up, ripped back the curtains on his four-poster bed, and intending to talk to Ron, to force Ron into believing him, only to find out that chapter notable number 1, Ron's bed was already empty. He had obviously gone down to breakfast. And this kind of makes you assume they always go to breakfast together. And
yeah, you kind of assume that. There's no reason the best friend would leave. But, you know, it's just so frustrating because Harry was super upset the night before, wakes up with the resolve to, like, look, I'm going to patch this right now. I'm going to squash this right now. I'm going to convince my best friend that I didn't do it.
Yeah, it sucks.
But the best friend didn't even want to stick around.
Yeah, your best friend's supposed to be the person like that you can talk to and say anything to and tell them when they're being stupid and then you guys get over it. And Ron's like, oh, yeah, you betrayed me. Peace out. Like, Ron, that's like, you're not being a very good friend now.
Yeah.
Especially when Harry's like, I just want to talk to Ron. I just want to talk to Ron. Have him bring me back down, calm me down.
Yeah.
And he's got nobody right now.
Yeah. So Ron's gone, so he's like, okay, I'm going to go down. And once he goes down the spiral staircase, he goes into the Gryffindor common room, and people are just as excited to see him, yelling. He's like, okay, well, I'm obviously not going to go to the entrance hall, or the Great Hall, because everyone's in there. I don't want the Gryffindors there to act this way. So luckily he goes down, he leaves the portal. Boom, Hermione is right there. And she's like, hey, what's up? I got you some toast. It's like, really? Like, yeah, you know, I assumed you didn't want to go down there, so let's go take a walk. So they go downstairs.
It's a guy thing, right? If you give them something that has bread, they're like, oh, I love you.
Hermione, thank you so much. Should we hug right now? No, that's fine.
No.
So
you got any more bread in your pocket?
Yeah.
I want some more.
So they go downstairs and they go outside, right? And so chapter notable number 2,
and Hermione right here is like, I talked about Dumbledore, like, hey, read the room, bro. Oh, you want a nightcap? No, they're mad at you. And then Hermione just takes one look at Harry and goes, you want to go for a walk? He's like, yes, please.
Let's get out of here.
So that was great.
So they're talking about, obviously, the Goblet of Fire. And she's like, oh, yeah, I believe you. Do you remember why she believes him?
Because of how upset he was.
No.
I don't know. Thought that was it.
because of his face when his name was called.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, really?
Shocked
You
look
believe
on
me?
his
She's
face,
like, yeah, your face. When they called your name, you were as shocked as we were.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then he asks, they're talking about Ron. Okay, he obviously thinks I put my name in the goblet. And she's like, look, here's Ron's issue. He
And
is
it
your
all makes
best.
sense. It makes sense.
I mean, it does. It does, but it does make sense. She's like, look, it's not so much a jealousy thing, but it is, right? He's the youngest of all of his brothers, and so he's living in their shadow. He's Harry Potter's best friend, so he's living in that shadow. And
It's
now,
like I'm Harry Potter's best friend. Oh,
Yeah.
man, he's going to get all the attention. It's all
yeah, hey Ron, what's going on? Nothing much. What's with you? Hey Ron, can you ask Harry something for me?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to talk to me? You want to talk to my brother?
Yeah,
so
anybody
I
else
get it.
would die to be Harry Potter's best friend, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, well, I'm just going to push to
Any
the back.
Creevy brother would give their left pinky
Oh,
to
yeah.
be Harry Potter's best
It would
friend.
jump out of all the boats.
Yeah, all the boats. So, but Harry really doesn't take this, not humbly. He's still reactive too, right? Oh, I don't care. I don't care what, Ron. I'll trade any day. Ron can have people gawking at my scar. Ron can have people feeling sorry for me because my parents are dead. Ron can have, Voldemort at all times. And, and he's like, tell Ron this. I'm not telling Ron anything. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you, Hermione. So
Yeah, it's a good little.
yeah,
back and forth with them.
and this is the logical. This is the Hermione is wise. She's like, I'm not telling him anything. You have to tell him. That's the only way to start fixing this thing. So
Yeah, because when Ron talks to Hermione, he talks to her normally. Even when Harry's
Yeah.
around, they're
Yeah.
both talking. They're just not talking to each other, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
talking like
Yeah.
they normally would. Yeah.
So then Hermione, moving on from the Ron subject, because she almost like, you talk to him, I'm not talking to him. Let's move on. When are you going to write Sirius a letter? He told you in his last letter that you need to write Sirius a letter. He's like, okay, fine. Sure. Let's well, at first he was like, I'm not going to do it. He already came back into the country because of me. And then Hermione's like, no. You have to do it. This is you being in the Triwizard Tournament is going to get out. It's going to leak.
Oh yeah.
He wants to hear it from you, and so he's like, "Okay, cool. Let's go up to the castle. I'll give Ron a good kick in the pants." so they go up to that castle, go back to the castle with the intentions of writing to Sirius.
Yeah. And then she just happened to have a piece of parchment and the quill and everything. Didn't have that plan, did you, Hermione? So Harry's like, well, what owl am I supposed to use? He told me not to use Hedwig. She's too noticeable. And Hermione's like, well, you can use Ron's owl. And Harry shut that down right away. I'm going to use one of the school owls instead. So he writes a letter and it says, Dear Sirius, you told me to keep you posted on what's happening at Hogwarts. So here it goes. I don't know if you heard, but the Triwizard Tournament's happening this year, and on Saturday night I got picked as the 4th champion. I don't know who put my name in the Goblet of Fire, because I didn't. The other Hogwarts champion is Cedric Diggory. From Hufflepuff. Hope you're okay, and Buckbeak. Harry. Hedwig wasn't happy about Harry using a school owl.
She is as emotional as Ron in this book.
She flies over to him, seeing he's got a letter, lands on his shoulder, and he's like, hey, I can't use you. And she flies off and rips his shoulder and turns his back to him as he's tying the letter to another owl. And
Which is funny, because if you think about it, in the scenes, if you look at the amount of owls that are in the owlery, the amount of owls that are flying into morning mail, you'd think that at least 50 owls are leaving Hogwarts every day. Maybe
Yeah, probably in
75,
and out
maybe
all day,
100,
Yeah.
right? Coming and going. So it's like, don't use Hedwig. People might be catching on. He's not the only one sending letters.
Well, she's the only snowy white owl, I think, that's there. All the other ones are brown.
All true.
Brown or gray, I think.
Brownie.
But so Harry, he's one piece of bad news after the other. First Ron, then you, said Harry angrily. This isn't my fault. But it gets worse. Every house seemed to believe that Harry put his name into the Goblet of Fire, and it seemed like the only person who would talk to him or believed him at this point is Hermione.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. You knew Hufflepuff was going to hate him. You knew Hufflepuff was going to be upset. You knew Draco was going to rile up the Slytherins. Right?
So why do you think it's such a big deal? Like, why do you think everybody's mad at Harry? Because it's Harry? Like, oh, of course Harry got chosen somehow.
Let's look at first year. Slytherin wins the House Cup. Oh, but Harry did this brave thing with his friends. Harry wins the House Cup. What happened second year? Oh, Harry saved the girl from Voldemort. What happened in the third year? Oh, Harry comes in clutch. We won. We came back and we won. So there's all of these things that Harry does at the end of the year. Now it's the beginning of this year, or we're 2 months in, and now Harry is back on the map.
Yeah, true.
And so it's and here's the thing, and those things could slide, right? Years 1 through 3, those all you came by all of that honestly. Now, a fourth champion is chosen, and it just so happens to be Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see how the pattern and the, because you got to assume, it sounds like the wizards that have grown up learning or hearing about the Triwizard Tournament are like, oh, this event, this tournament is wrought with cheating and trying to get the edge,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And so even Dumbledore warned him, don't try it, but I know you're going to try it, and I'm going to use magic to prevent it, but you're still going to try. So, yeah.
And at this point, I think Harry's so upset because everybody thinks he put his name in and he didn't. And that's the only reason why he's upset. Once everybody calms down and, okay, you didn't do it, then he could focus on other things.
Yeah.
This is... I guess I have to do this instead of everybody going, hey, why are you lying, man? Why? Come on.
Yeah. Oh, somebody put your name in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it is kind of frustrating when you're really telling the truth about something and everyone's like, no, you're lying. I know you're lying. You're like, whoa, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
So a couple days pass. They're back in classes. They've got Care of Magical Creatures this year, which they're sharing with Slytherins. Draco's being Draco. Look, boys, it's the champion. Got your autograph books? Better get a signature now, because I doubt he's going to be around much longer. Half the Triwizard champions have died, How long do you reckon you're going to last, Potter? 10 minutes into the first task's my bet. So it's like, oh my gosh, I got to put up with this. And not only do I have to put up with this, but remember those blast-ended Scroots that nobody wants to be around? Remember how they started killing each other? Well, Hagrid believes that they started killing each other because they have all this pent-up energy.
They're bored, so they're just going to kill each other.
So we want you to put some leashes on them and take them for a walk. Do we put the leash around the pincer end, what is it? What did he call it? Because they've got the suckers and then they've got the
they've got
stingers.
No recognizable face or head. So,
where are we putting this? So
what are your thoughts on the Scroots? Are they less exciting or less important than the whole Buckbeak story? Because it kind of brings me to that. Like, it's just
far less
randomly talked about.
Yeah, far less interesting, because now it's almost like, because there's this, when it comes to fantasy writing, the closer you stay to realism, the more believable it is, the more you can really see it. So unicorns, okay, a horse with
Yeah, I
a
can picture
horn.
that.
Great,
Yeah.
magical. Even buckbeak. Oh, the head of a bird, the wings of a bird, and the body of a horse like, but they've got talons like a bird. Okay, cool,
I can
because
picture that.
we know you've got, the Pegasus, so it's like, okay, cool. Now she's just like, here's this thing that is alive with no face.
I can't picture the script. I just picture a
Yeah.
gigantic, oversized worm that's just
Yeah.
exaggerated.
So if you can't, with your imagination, like distinguish like what it looks like without changing it at all the time,
Yeah.
I just don't think it has a lasting thing. So I mean, it serves its purpose in the end. Obviously, when they get to the maze and they have the obstacles, now you've got this full-grown blast-ended Scroot that can blast fire at you and or sting you and or suck blood from you with the suction. So cool, but like as far as the storyline, you're just like, lose me with these
Yeah.
blast-ended Scroots. So, but I think, Hagrid does this, gets everybody going out with the Scroots so that he can talk to Harry. And he gets Harry by himself, and chapter nodal number 3, Hagrid believes Harry. Right? Hagrid believes Harry. And so Harry really appreciates that. And then Hagrid's like, look, Dumbledore believes you. Like Dumbledore believes you.
Here's my question. Do we think that Hagrid believes Harry because Dumbledore believes Harry? And like we talked about in the beginning, if that's the case, we know that Dumbledore knows Legilimens, so...
Yeah. No, I think Hagrid believes Harry. I think Hagrid knows Harry and believes Harry. And I think...
Because we know Hagrid and Dumbledore's relationship, so it makes you think, like, if Dumbledore said, I don't believe Harry, would Hagrid have been like, you know what, Dumbledore? I think you're right.
Well, that's tough.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to go against Dumbledore, who so modestly says it,
Well, Dumbledore, I think, would be the
right
person, if you disagree with him, he would listen.
Absolutely.
And think about it. He wouldn't just dismiss you, so... Yeah,
Absolutely.
I just thought of that while I was reading that. I was like, see, I mean, I believe he believes Harry, but
yeah,
does
but
Dumbledore
like
have
but
a
like
little bit
me,
of persuasion there?
like you asked earlier, I don't believe that Dumbledore used Legilimency on Harry.
Yeah,
Right. I don't think that happened, even though
it could.
Yeah, he could have, and it's alluded to a couple of times in book 2, for instance, when Harry hears the basilisk, doesn't know what it is, and Mrs. Norris is petrified, and they go in and they're examining Mrs. Norris, and Dumbledore, is asking, Harry, is there anything else you want to tell me? And, Harry's like, oh my gosh, it's like those piercing blue eyes were, it's like he already knew there was something else.
Yeah.
But, didn't press it. So, it's I don't think he's using Legilimens. I think he's an amazing judgment of character.
Yeah, that's true too. Because I'm a pretty good judge of character, so that makes sense.
And now you think of Dumbledore, right? Like
Yeah.
So okay, so he and Hagrid, they're done talking about all that. They just kind of stand there for a while, looking at the class, looking at the Scroots, and now they're more like monsters. They're over 3 feet long. They're still the cross between a scorpion and elongated crabs, and
That's
they don't
it.
have
It sounds
recognizable
like a
heads.
monster.
I mean,
It
yeah,
really
like
does.
it just is. And then, then Hagrid kind of goes to the tournament, right? Starts sounding word. He's like, I don't know, Harry, the school champion. Everything just seems to happen to you, doesn't it? And it's like, yeah, it does. It does. And that's why one of the reasons Harry's so frustrated
Why
at
is
Ron.
it always me?
I know, it's a great Neville quote that works perfectly right here for Harry.
Yes. So with everything going on, Harry's rightfully so, pretty worried and very distracted. I don't know if I could focus on anything else going on, especially if my best friend isn't trying to talk me down. He's just ignoring me. Like,
Yeah.
man, if one of my friends, I don't have very many friends, and if one of them, like, doesn't talk to me, I'm like, hey, whoa, what'd I do? How do I fix
like,
this?
what the heck,
You
bro?
know, like, well, tell me what I did, But if that's not bad enough, he goes into Trelawney's class, and she's really pushing the whole Harry and death thing. And he's doing poorly in all of his classes, although it only mentions this class and Flitwick's class. I guess maybe he's not doing too well with Snape's, but it specifically mentions
Well, we haven't gotten to
class.
that yet. We haven't gotten to
Yeah,
Snape's
yeah.
class yet.
So the charm in question this time is the summoning charm, which we've seen before with earlier in the book when
Yep.
Molly's getting those
Molly did it,
Accio. I don't know why I didn't mention the charm name this time, but Hermione, jeez, sometimes she's
She's the best.
not very nice. It's really not that difficult, Harry. You just weren't concentrating properly. Harry couldn't help but notice how much more popular and better looking the other champions were, and bigger, and all these things, right? He's really comparing himself to these other champions, and it's really distracting, especially
Yeah.
when they happen to walk in front of him. So
Yeah.
there's just too much going on. But don't worry, because it gets better. It's time for double potions. But wait, it gets even better than that. As Harry and Hermione were walking into class, Harry noticed the Slytherins were wearing badges. Of course, the only badge he's seen recently was the spew badges, so are they wearing? Nah. No, definitely not. Because the badges they were wearing said, support Cedric Diggory. The badges they were wearing said, support Cedric Diggory, the real Hogwarts champion. But wait. If you couldn't believe it, you should. It gets even better.
But wait, there's more.
Malfoy shows up. Like them, Potter. And this isn't all they do. Look. Malfoy touched the badge. It now said, Potter stinks. Hermione wasn't impressed, and really, Potter stinks.
Lazy.
Not very. Yeah, it's lazy.
Yeah.
And these little things that come up like that make you go, "Oh, it's still a kid's book."
Yeah. And then Malfoy does Malfoy. And he's like, oh, Granger, you want one? And he's like, but don't touch my hand. I just wash them. You don't want a mud blood touching them. Harry pulls his wand out. Malfoy pulls his wand out. And then tensions hit it, and they both go. Furnunculus! Spells met in the middle. Wand lights collide. Harry's hits Goyle right in the face and gives him boils. Draco's hits Hermione, and her front teeth start to grow. Then Snape comes in. Draco immediately said, Potter attacked me, sir. Snape took one look at Goyle and said, hospital wing, Goyle. He looked at Hermione's teeth after Ron shouted, Malfoy got Hermione, and then he says, which you thought would unite Harry and Ron. I see no difference. To which Hermione obviously runs off crying.
Everybody talks about, oh, Snape was really the good guy. Oh, this and that. But why? I see no difference. Why? What? No, you're really a jackass. Like, you really, like, why?
Yeah.
That's just messed up, man.
Yeah.
I see no.
Yeah.
Why?
The argument, the fact that it's been 2 decades, and the argument is still there of, was Snape a good guy or a bad guy, just proves her writing. Right?
I mean,
just proves.
I could see the hate.
Because you read
he
this
has
and you're
for
like,
Harry.
oh, yeah, that dude's a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, jerk. So Snape obviously believes Draco. He takes 50 points from Gryffindor, gives both of them.
Ron
Gives.
and Harry.
I don't think he took 50 points each. I think he just took 50
No.
points from Gryffindor and then gave them.
I think he took 50 points each.
Here we go. Here we
I think he
go.
took
Here we
50
go.
points each.
Here we go. Okay,
have to
look,
find it. We're gonna
look,
have to
look.
find
Here
it.
we go. I'm so happy. Hedwig's upset.
Faster.
Harry didn't answer.
Chantingly nasty. Champions have died in the past.
Musical
Crocodiles
Scroots.
get handbag.
Meanwhile,
Potter, leave
Sirius.
your things
Okay.
here.
Double potions. Support Cedric
Potter
Diggory.
attack
Potter
me,
stinks.
sir.
Okay.
I see no difference.
So here we go. What's all this noise
Let's
about
see,
Potter?
he said in the silkiest voice. 50 points from Gryffindor and a detention for Potter and Weasley. Okay, he gave them both attention. Okay. All right.
I will accept your apology in writing. You'll have to read it at the beginning of the next episode.
Look
No.
for my quill.
Yeah, because that
for
was
my
one
owl.
of the 50. Yeah. 50 points from Gryffindor, and he gave both of them detentions. And so, obviously, to make it matters worse, no punishment for Draco. Snape, and the reason that they got the 50 points in the detention, I didn't mention. So they say, or Snape says, I see no difference to Hermione's teeth. She runs away crying. Both Harry and Ron start launching slurs and attacks at Snape. But because they were both yelling, he doesn't really distinguish what they're saying, which was probably a really good thing. So that's why Harry and Ron both get detentions, and they took the 50 points away. So they go in. Snape tells them, "Okay, start on your antidotes, because we're gonna test a poison on somebody." And he looks directly at Harry. Harry's like, "Dude's gonna poison me. I can feel it."
Yep.
But finally, something goes right. Finally, something gets better.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, context, yes. So Colin Creevy comes in, and he's like, "Hey, I need Harry to come with me upstairs. Harry's in class. He can't come with you. I actually need him right now. They want the champions. What's he doing up there? I think they're taking photographs." And Harry's like, "Colin!"
That's what I said. Does it get better? Does it?
Colin! He's got to go upstairs and take photos with all of the other champions.
Leave your things here, Potter.
No, they want him to bring his things. Get your things and get out of my class. So he's out of double potions. Yeah. But now everybody's like, "Oh, Potter snuck into the tournament. Now he gets to leave class to go take photos."
So this is where we finally learn about chapter notable number 4, the wand weighing ceremony. But before that, chapter notable number 5, we see Rita Skeeter in the flesh. And she's more than ready to interview Harry. I think her being there, she's supposed to be reporting on the entire thing as a whole.
Yeah.
She's interested on Harry Potter.
She is the TMZ
Yes.
of the Harry Potter books.
Oh, yes. It gets better.
It is journalism,
Yeah.
but it is clickbait, maybe the truth, maybe not the truth. We just want readers and viewers.
Yeah. So the book describes Rita Skeeter. Her hair was set in elaborate and curiously rigid curls that contrasted oddly with her heavy-jawed face. She wore jeweled spectacles. The thick fingers clutching her crocodile skin handbag ended with 2-inch nails painted crimson. That's way too long. 2-inch
Way
fingernails?
too long. Way too long.
How do you do anything? Jeez. So, everybody's in there. Can I have a word with Harry? So she brings him to a broom closet.
A broom closet.
I mean, PTSD much right there? Come on. Come on, Rita. She
No,
lights up,
you can't go into a broom closet with the 14-year-old.
no.
It's inappropriate, Rita.
She goes in there, lights up some candles with her wand, then pulled out chapter notable number 5, a
Number
quick
6.
quotes quill. Oh, number 6, a quick quotes quill, which a quick quotes quill puts a twist on what somebody says. It magically writes down what they're saying. So here's an example. So she pulls it out and she goes, "Testing. My name is Rita Skeeter, Daily Prophet reporter." The quill wrote, "Attractive blonde Rita Skeeter, 43, whose savage quill has punctured many inflated reputations." And she goes, "Oh, it's working perfect." She didn't say any of that.
No.
So it's pretty good. So Rita starts to ask him questions. And Harry, there's a lot of dialogue here. I suggest you go back and read it because it's pretty good. But Harry is giving half-thought, short, boring, honest answers. Right? He's still upset at this point. He hasn't really thought about what's going on. He's just more so thought of what's happened to him. So his answers are things we would expect. She asks him about the tournament, his thoughts on the tournament, and of course his parents. Can you remember your parents at all?
No.
How do you think they'd feel if they knew you were competing in the Triwizard Tournament? Proud, worried, angry? Harry, he wasn't answering. He was just kind of sitting there going like, But what the quill started writing, tears fill those startlingly green eyes as our conversation turns to the parents he can barely remember.
I have not got tears in my eyes. I love that. And if we can take a moment, Miranda Richardson.
Oh, okay.
Miranda Richardson is the actress that played Rita Skeeter in the movies. And I think she did a great job.
To be fair, everybody did a great job. I don't think I've ever seen a more perfect cast.
Yeah, they did a really good job. A really good job with the casting. She did a good job. I'm so excited to get Ludo Bagman in the HBO series.
I'm excited to get everything. It's
yeah.
We're gonna get so much, and if they leave anything out, that will be my disappointment.
Yeah, because right now it's projected 8 episodes that are averaging an hour-ish. Right?
That's crazy.
So,
it sounds short, but then when you think about it as a whole, what are the movies? 2.5 hours? Now you get 8 hours for a movie?
Yeah.
So, and I'd imagine as they go on, they're going to be adding episodes, or they're going to be longer. I'd imagine they're going to add episodes. But
yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So they're going through this interview that is clearly one-sided, clearly fabricated, and then Dumbledore opens the door. Rita tries to play nice with him, but we learn that she had previously called Dumbledore an obsolete dingbat. But in true Dumbledore fashion, he was all smiles. He takes Harry so that they could start the weighing of the wands and introduce to everybody, chapter notable number 7, our guy, Mr. Ollivander. He's back. So he takes Fleur's wand first. Yes, he says quietly, 9.5 inches, inflexible, rosewood, and containing, dear me,
an heir from the end of the villa, said Fleur. One of my grandmothers.
Then, now, it's interesting, he didn't tell us who made that wand.
No, he didn't.
Which is interesting.
He was like, well...
Because he's like, I never use Vila hairs just because they can be a little
temperamental.
Erratic, right? A little temperamental, right? Then he examines the one closer and says, Orchideos, which made flowers come out of the end. Then he gives those back to Fleur, and he's satisfied with the wand. This will work great. Not much weighing there. We know how long it is. We know the wood. We know the core, but we do not know how much it weighs. Now, I will say, in Old English, when you weigh something or someone, you are examining its character.
I figured that's what it was. I was like,
So,
probably misunderstanding. Because I'm
yes.
American. Weighing means stepping on a scale, weighing something.
Yes. So in Old English, and there's a great quote from a great movie called A Knight's Tale.
Oh, I've seen that.
Have you really?
Yeah. It's been a while. You know one of the best movies ever made?
You probably haven't seen it.
A Beautiful Mind.
Great movie.
One of the best movies ever made.
Great movie. Let's see.
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. So one of the guys, the antagonist in A Knight's Tale, he looks at William, who's played by the late Heath Ledger, who was awesome, and he says, "You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting." And then later in the movie, Heath Ledger's character gets back at that guy, and they surround him. They're like, "You have been weighed, you have been measured, you have been found left wanting." So to weigh something in Old English doesn't necessarily mean how much does it weigh, but it is being examined for its basically character.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, so we get past Fleur's. Now we get Cedric's, and Ollivander's like, "Yeah, this is mine. I made this. This is one of my own, isn't it?" said Mr. Ollivander with much more enthusiasm as Cedric handed over his wand. "Yes, I remember it well, containing a single hair from the tail of a particularly fine male unicorn. Must have been 17 hands. Nearly gored me with his horn after I plucked his tail. 12¼ inches, ash, pleasantly springy. It's in fine condition. You treat it regularly?"
Polished it last night.
To which Harry immediately was like, "Oh, were we supposed to prepare our wands?" Now,
fingerprints all over his wand. It's all dirty.
Now, this is the first that Harry's hearing of this, right? This is the first Harry is hearing of this weighing of the wands thing. And yeah, he looks down and he's like, there's fingerprints on my wand. So he takes a bit of his robe and he tries to clean his wand, and it shot out gold sparks, which got him a crazy look from Fleur. And then Mr. Ollivander shot a stream of silver smoke rings from Cedric's wand, and he gave it back. He is satisfied. It has been weighed.
Yes, and now Crumb. This is a Gogorovitch creation, unless I'm much mistaken. A fine wand maker, though the styling is never quite what I... However, Crumb's wand was hornbeam and dragon heartstring, thick and rigid, 10¼ inches. He shouted, "Avis!" A gunshot sounded, and small birds came out. He was satisfied yet again. Harry Potter was next. Ah, yes. Yes. How well I remember. So the funny thing is, here, and I never truly realized this. I've read the books and seen the movies countless times, but I never realized Harry never told Ron or Hermione about the encounter with Mr. Ollivander. He never told them about the wands. Never. And I kind of knew he didn't, but it didn't dawn on me. Like, this is the 4th book, and he still hasn't said nothing about it.
Because I know at the end of this book, isn't there a chapter called The Twin Cores? Or is that in a different book?
That doesn't sound familiar.
And, because at the end of this book, Harry and Voldemort get into it. And Voldemort is obviously at this point the more powerful wizard, but yet Voldemort is unaware that their wands share a core. Right?
Yes,
he is unaware. Ollivander knows, Dumbledore knows, and Harry knows. Let me see. Is there If it is, it would be at the very end. When I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. While I'm looking for this, it's really cool that J.K. mentions Grigorovich right here, and then we don't hear from him again. And then later in the series, we do meet Grigorovich again, right? So it's like, oh, here's a throwaway. Here's the name of another wand maker. Oh, and by the way, yeah, we're going to be talking about him. So here we go right here. So this kind of settles it for me. So if we go to book 7, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, Griphook, Luna, Dean, they're at Shell Cottage. Right? They've escaped Malfoy Manor. You remember this part?
Yeah.
They've escaped Malfoy Manor. Dobby has dobbied. So they're there. They talk to Griphook first, and then they go to talk to. They go to talk to Ollivander.
Great.
And he takes and Harry takes Ron and Hermione with him.
Yeah.
And he's talking to Ollivander.
He kind of startles Ollivander. He's like, "You're lying," and Ollivander's like, "What?"
Yeah, and he's like, "No, you told him about the twin cores. That's why Voldemort used Lucius's wand."
Yeah.
That's So Harry does talk about the twin cores in front of Hermione and Ron.
Yeah.
Whether they have that conversation prior to that, I would have to dig deeper. But I just wanted to confirm it was there. See, we got it, man. These
we got it.
They're bringing things up that if you're reading it for the first time, you just kind of pass over it.
Yep. So Harry's never until book 7 apparently he's never mentioned the twin cores to anybody. And right now he's afraid that Mr. Ollivander is going to just outright say it right in front of anybody. Because he's holding Harry's wand, and he's not really saying anything. Everybody else's wand, he's like, oh, it's 10 1/4 inches, this core. And he's kind of talking about the wand. But he's literally just looking at Harry's wand, and then he shoots some wine out of it and hands it back to Harry. Didn't say anything aside from, yes, how well I remember. And then the spell he used to shoot out the wine. That was it.
Well, and I could understand why Ollivander wouldn't bring up at that point.
He didn't bring up anything. He didn't even talk about his wand.
That was obviously not the place to be like, oh, this phoenix feather core,
No, it's kind of cool. Almost, he was like caught up in like, in memories.
This is a great wand. I made a great wand here, right? I made a great wand here. And what's also interesting is, you bring up that Harry doesn't tell Ron and Hermione, not until later in the story, about his wand and Voldemort's wand sharing core, obviously phoenix feathers, foxes from Fox, only gave 2 feathers to be used as cores, and now Harry and one's in Harry's wand and one's in Voldemort's wand. Harry at this point is starting to realize, and he really accelerates this realization in book 5, but Harry is starting to realize there are a lot of similarities between him and Tom Riddle. And it's almost like the fact of, why would I want to tell anybody else about this one more connection?
Yeah,
with
then
Tom Riddle.
Oh, Harry, there's more attention on him.
Yeah. So they find out eventually, but it's not something that, I don't ever really think it's something that he needs to tell them. But maybe there's that part of them that's like, I really don't want anybody to know. He never tells anyone until his son goes to Hogwarts that the hat was going to put him in Slytherin.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right? Yeah. So he never told Harry and Hermione that. So yeah, I don't think he wanted to tell people, hey, here's yet another connection between Voldemort and myself.
For real. It makes sense, though. It makes sense. But
yeah.
So he gets Harry's wand back. The weighing of the wands is over. And then Dumbledore comes out. He's okay, we're done. You guys, you can go back to class, but it'd be easier if we just went to dinner because classes are almost over.
Yeah.
But then Bagman comes out. Hey, we Dumbledore, we have to take pictures still, and we just like yes, we need individual pictures of probably just Harry Potter because that's all she cares about.
Harry Potter. Yeah. So they get done. Harry's going to go back to the dormitory. Ron's there. He wasn't expecting that. And Ron's like, hey, you got an owl. And we've got detention tomorrow night in Snape's dungeon. And you're like, okay, are they going to talk? Is it going to be? Nope. Ron gives him, and then he's out. Doesn't even look at Harry. So Harry's still just upset. So Harry reads this letter. And I'd like to point out that each time Sirius writes a letter to Harry, it gets more serious. The tone is far more serious with each passing letter. And so, Harry, I can't say everything I'd like to in a letter. It's too risky in case an owl is intercepted. We need to talk face to face. Can you ensure that you are alone by the fire in Gryffindor Tower at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 22nd of November? I know better than anyone that you can look after yourself. And while you're around Dumbledore and Moody, I don't think anyone will be able to hurt you. However, someone seems to be having a good try. Entering you in that tournament would have been very, very risky, especially right under Dumbledore's nose. Be on the watch, Harry. I still want to hear about anything unusual. Let me know about the 22nd of November as quickly as you can. Sirius. I felt like that was a good Sirius voice.
That was a good one.
I felt pretty good about it. I liked it.
Take it away on the final thoughts, Andrew.
My final thoughts, again, we talked about it earlier, it's building. We get a little more tension with Harry and Ron. We know that Hermione's on Harry's side. That's good. Hagrid, Dumbledore, they're on Harry's side. We now have Rita Skeeter, who is going to be following the tournament, and now we already don't like her. We already know that she's willing to lie. We already knew that from Arthur Weasley, right? We already knew that from Mishap at the Ministry, right? We already know that. Now they're attacking our boy, and we as the readers don't like that. So, cool. Other than that, Snape's a jerk. Hagrid's on our side. Everybody's wands are useful. I got to talk to Sirius face to face. The 22nd of November. That is like, if we have to sum it up.
Yeah. No, it was a good chapter. Just a lot of these chapters, and in this book at this point, it's surprising that trying to review them little difficult sometimes. I mean, this chapter was long. It had a lot of information in it.
Yeah.
But like I was trying to go through the chapter notables, not a lot that's notable, but I mean, we get Rita Skeeter.
Rita Skeeter's a huge one.
Yeah,
a huge one. And now if you look at here's what's interesting with Sirius is Harry wrote him a letter at the very beginning of the book. Took weeks to get back. Then he writes another couple weeks to get back.
Yeah.
Now he just wrote one and we've got it back in a couple days. Right, so we know that Sirius is close. He already said he was coming back into the countryside. So now we get this letter. We did not have to wait a long time to get a letter from Sirius. So we know that he is close and is ready to, especially with Dumbledore knowing of his innocence, ready to pop into Godfather mode.
Yeah, for real.
A horse head shows up in Draco's bed.
Oh, no. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get to the Owl Post. And we head on over to YouTube, and this is a comment from Matt Dunsill. I don't know why everybody's usernames are so difficult to pronounce. My YouTube is Accio Potter Guy. That's pretty easy to pronounce.
There you go.
But he says...
Unless you pronounce it Asio.
Yeah, Asio. But this is on a video, what happens when a magical contract is broken. But this guy brought up a decent question, not really a question, but more of a statement. He says, I wish we could have seen a version of the story where Fred and George get to participate in the tournament.
That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Like, okay, so how do you think Fred and George would do with the tasks that we get? Because from what we see with Wizards or Weasley's Wizard Wheezes,
yeah,
they're talented.
They are.
They're talented. So
how do you think they could hear of the tournament and come up with just so many different ideas of how to go about it? I mean, what, the first task, you get your wand. Well, that's all they need. Accio, but I mean, man, they got so much up their sleeve. It's unexpected. Yeah. Really, their ability is unexpected. But at this point, to steal a line from Ollivander, we can expect great things from the Weasley twins. So that kind of makes me think it would have been more interesting if they had participated in the tournament.
Well, I don't think, and there could have been a version of the story where there were 10 students chosen.
Because I can picture them in every task.
Yeah, you never really know what draft.
Yeah.
Like what was, obviously she ended with the Triwizard Tournament, but where did it start?
Yeah.
So, that would have been a cool story where there weren't just 4, but now there are a dozen, or it's just different tasks, and that could have been an interesting turn. But
maybe not Fred and George, but maybe Fred or George.
Yeah, I could see that. And then they switch out for each other. He's really good at this. He's gonna go do that, and Hermione figures it out, and now she's like she doesn't want to get them
struggle.
kicked out. Yeah, I could see something fun. I don't, obviously with the Triwizard Tournament, it wouldn't have made any sense for, unless it wasn't Cedric Diggory and it was the Weasley twins, but then Cedric dies and we don't want the twins to die. So, but I think the twins would be able to hold their own because they're almost 17. They're 16 and a half.
Yeah, I think they would have outperformed everybody. Honestly, the final task, though, I'm a little curious on how they would do with that. But the first two, for sure, I think they would have outperformed everybody.
Yeah, because when you get to, like, the next book, when you get to Dumbledore's army, and, they're not really outstanding in there. Obviously, they're able to do the magic in there, but they're in there learning along with Harry, and it's their 7th year.
Their style of magic is more... more on the comical side than it is on the serious side.
Yeah.
No, I never really thought about that.
Would have been fun.
Well, thank you for your comment. That was a good comment. That was, man, I could just picture them in that tournament. It would be a blast. I wonder if somebody could make like a short film. Like, I'm sure you can make like a short AI film of the Weasley twins in the tournament. But let's not do that. We don't need that. So, thank you everybody for watching us. If you have the choice or the chance to leave a comment or a rate or interact at all, that helps push us out, especially when you share this with who? With who, Andrew?
All of your Potter friends.
Yes. And join us next time when we review Chapter 19, The Hungarian Horntail, and I'll go ahead and leave us with this. But I think it is clear that we can expect great things from you. After all, he who must not be named did great things. Terrible, yes, but great. Squibs Corner is hosted by Jeremiah Lobot and co-host by Andrew Beecham. We would love to hear from you, so drop us a rate and review, to inquire about being a guest and for questions and comments, or to just give us your Harry Potter story. Email us at squibscorner@gmail.com. To watch Harry Potter merch unboxings, follow my YouTube, @KillPotterGuy. Lastly, you can leave us a voice memo and follow us on Instagram @Squibs Corner Podcast.